Hey YouTube, it's Steezy here with a new tutorial. This will be my cricket tutorial. One of the most basic power moves in my opinion. And sorry I haven't been making videos lately. I've been busy training, summer, vacation, all that good stuff. And for this video, it will be narrated, but I also put text around me because for me it's easier to physically, but explain a power move with words other than just basic text around me. So yeah, enjoy. Now there's three parts to the cricket. There is the pull, the hop, and the land or catch or restab. What you really want to do before you even attempt cricket is to master Handglide and to strengthen your wrist a little bit. So once you've pretty much mastered Handglide and got some wrist strength, you can now move on to part 1 of the cricket, which is the simplest and easy part of this move known as the pull. Pull is basically an icy ice, but you're in Handglide. What you want to do is, in Handglide, put your arm and pull across from you, and as you're pulling, your hand should be turning just like a clock. So it turns and then it goes from behind you to in front of you, your fingers facing. Now when you pull, it doesn't have to be exactly, your fingers don't have to be exactly in front of you. There can be some variation to the side a little bit, but not like this, not directly to right or left. You always want to have it somewhere facing forward in front of you. Now, when you do the pull, you do not want to put a lot of weight, pressure on your support hand, just enough to pull you. Maybe the weight distribution is maybe 30%, 70%, or 25%, 75%, something around that. To demonstrate it, look like this. When you get to the very end of the pull, you should feel a little bit strain on your wrist. That means you're doing it right. To make sure you have this down, you want to start in Handglide and end in Handglide. So you're in Handglide now, and you end up Handglide in here. And that's basically all to it. Alright, so once you master part 1, the pull of the cricket, you can now move on to the hop, part 2 of the cricket. Now some people say that the hop is the hardest part of the cricket, and in a way it is, but I'll get into that. Part 3 is actually the hardest part, the landing. But this part of the cricket is actually kind of complicated to explain, and I might get a little bit lengthy, so once you pulled, basically to hop, it looks like this. So how to hop? To hop, you want to push off the ground like you're doing a push-up. So you're here and then you push off the ground, giving you the term the push-up. But you just don't want to be using raw strength of your arms. Basically, to actually get yourself up, you're using your hip and your legs. It is like any blow-up move where you don't actually use your strength in your arm. Basically, your legs are lifting you up. That's basically for the hop. So you're in Handglide, right? And then if you notice, my hips and my legs pull me up. Like that. But what you want to do is not over-exaggerate or overdo it and have your legs and feet go all flying up everywhere. You do not want to do that. That is very bad. Because you will lose balance, lose momentum, lose power, etc. And for the hop, you do not want to hop high at all. That is terrible, that is bad. Unless you're like Bboy Pop and like hopping that high, that's different. But you do not want to hop high. You want to hop less than an inch off the ground for sure. way less than an inch. Because for the hop, when you get to the land, when you land and catch yourself, it'll really hurt your wrists. So the higher you go, the more impact you'll have on the ground, and the more impact will be on your wrist, and it'll hurt. But the lower you are off the ground, the less impact, the less it will hurt. So it is better that you don't hop very high. You just want to hop just high enough so when your stab hand is facing forward, you want to hop high enough so it can turn back to your original hand glide. It doesn't have to be perfect behind you, it can be a little bit to the side, but you want to hop just high enough to turn your hand. That is so important. And now a drill to practice the hop is to get into hand glide like this with your hand facing forward, and to just hop and then turn your hand quickly. It will look like this. Now when you hop, if you're just learning, it is advised that you use your support hand to help you lift up. But as you get better, you learn to not really use it, especially if you're moving on to jackhammers where you only use one arm. You really want to use your hips, use your legs, because that's what really pulls you up. And another very important thing, you have to keep your arm, pretty much keep your arm attached to your body, because if you kind of don't keep it attached, when you land, your elbow will literally stab your stomach and it won't feel that good. So practice that drill. Remember to turn. When you hop, you're probably in the air for less than a second, maybe a second. And when you're in the air, you want to quickly turn your wrist. Turn it. Like, turn it. And that's really all the hop is for, to turn your wrist. Sometimes when you hop, you'll be so close to the ground that you can feel your hand glide off the ground. That is very good. That means you're hopping just perfect enough. That's probably what you want to aim for. But like I said, don't hop very high. It's dangerous, it's bad. And you can use both hands. Use your hips and your legs, because that's what bring you up. Alright. Now the third and final part of the cricket, the hardest part in my opinion, called the land, the catch, or the restab as I like to call it. Now some people don't really cover this part because it is basically the hop that you're landing, but I gave it its own separate part, so it's very important, the hardest part. Trust me, my friends, when I teach them, they always collapse on this. It's funny because it's the hardest part, but there's not much to explain. Basically, it's when you're coming down on the hop, so it's like you hop and you come down. When you do this, you really don't want to bend your support arm a lot, because if you do, it'll just be closer to the ground, and that's off balance, you lose momentum, you're in and out. So what you want to do is, like I said, jump very minimal, do not jump very high, so that the landing will be very easy for you. The hardest part of the landing is actually landing it, because this is where your wrist strength comes with your cricket, because as you land, as you make impact to the ground, and as you bring your body down, basically all of your body weight, everything in you, your lunch, your dinner, fat, everything, just drop down on your one wrist, kind of on this wrist, but more on your stabbing wrist. And if you do it wrong, it will hurt a lot. So you really want to not jump very high and keep your arm connected. Also, your support hand can be used as like a cushion, kind of. So like, think of it like a parachute. So as you jump up, you're in the air like you're skydiving. This is like a parachute, and if you touch the ground like a millisecond before, it lowers your impact because it's more on this hand, and it'll be easier on your support hand to land. And also, when you are doing the land to catch, do not want to have your body too much forward. If you have your body a little bit back, that is okay, but forward is bad. The more forward you are, the sloppier it looks, terrible momentum. Keep your back as straight as possible. So like a bad hop and land would be like this, where your face almost touches the ground, or a good one would be like this. You keep your body up. That's very important. So yeah, not much to it. Remember to use both arms to help you land. Don't jump very high, keep your arm connected. Turn your wrist midair, land, work on your wrist. That's pretty much it.